Hello everyone, my name is Larissa Shoga. I am here at Crowley Park in Richardson today with our amazing community of Circas, and we're standing here not only because it's Memorial Day on the May 21st, which if you don't know is the memorial for the Circassian Genocide. So we're here today commemorating that on the 18th. Today's the 18th, right? Yeah, it's the 18th. So thank you so much for coming in and joining us. I'm going to start this out today by reading the first saga in the Nart sagas to introduce who we are and what makes us who we are. Saga 1. If our lives be short, let our fame be great. The Narts were courageous, energetic, bold, and good-hearted. Thus they lived until God sent down a small swallow. Do you want to be few and live a short life but have great fame? And have your courage be an example for others forevermore? Asked the swallow. Or perhaps you would prefer that there will be many of you, that your numbers will be great, that you will have whatever you wish to eat and drink, and that you will all live long lives, but without ever knowing battle or glory. Then without calling a council, but with a reply as quick as thought itself, the Narts said, "We do not want to be like cattle. We do not want to reproduce in great numbers. We want to live with human dignity. If our lives are to be short, then let our fame be great. Let us not depart from truth. Let fairness be our path. Let us not know grief. Let us live in freedom." In this way, they chose to be small in numbers, but to perform deeds of courage and boldness. This was the answer they gave to that small swallow to take back to God. And so their fame has remained undying among the people. The Netakwaja are their descendants. And that is, let our fame be great. So our numbers might be small, but we still live on through history. And now I would like to introduce our next speaker, Noor Saha.
Assalamu alaikum. Today we gather in memorial to honor the hardships of our ancestors. We gather in solidarity with our own Circassian people dispersed around the world in remembrance of a nation denied by genocide. We gather in solidarity with our brothers and sisters on a global scale against human oppression, violence against children, genocide, and ethnic cleansing occurring to multiple peoples right now as we stand here, all of which sharing a similar root cause. Over the last 8 months, a wide majority of people, especially in the West, have been vividly awakened to the reality behind such words like genocide, ethnic cleansing, displacement, colonialization, dehumanization, words that we all understood on a very academic level, at an arm's length, that we might have been able to speak casually in passing without much feeling or connection to, because unaffected people cannot fathom such horrors without a direct connection to such an event. What we have been awakened to is the fact that through our phones, powered by genocide for cobalt and other resources in Congo, we have been able to witness a genocide in Gaza in 4K. Sudan is bleeding. Yemen resists. Innocent people, children, are facing circumstances beyond the average Westerner's imagination. The state of this world in all its layers is utterly and incomprehensibly devastating. We are all working to maintain our humanity in a world system that could care less about human life. And I ask myself, how many times have I used the word genocide in regards to my own people? And up until recently, never fully, truly grasped what it meant. Even after reading the books, the articles, the historical accounts, the analyses, a 100-year war against a powerful imperial regime in which the term cleansing was coined. the first modern genocide recorded in history, a template for all genocides to follow. A genocide in which colonizers on different continents patted each other on their back and congratulated one another for successfully achieving their goals of removing the people from the land and gaining access to all those resources. Finally, a war fought without repercussions for the devastation. No ICJ, no United Nations, no social media, cameras, journalists. Just a handful of Europeans who felt sympathy for the Caucasians, who wrote from the sidelines and to help preserve some details that following generations still cling to as a means to connect with a piece of our past that still lives in our DNA. Dehumanized by our oppressors and abandoned by the world, our ancestors forged forward, and we are standing here today because of them. Tsetsekun, the Wabich word we use to name what happened to us, meaning mass slaughter or murder, much like the word Nakba, meaning catastrophe for the Palestinians. The implication of these words is generational, an inherited burden of facing a loss of language and customs, full assimilation and absorption into the societies we've had to adapt to for our survival. Our connection to our homeland is a faint genetic memory, like a dream you can barely remember. 1.5 million lives lost or forced into exile in foreign lands as unwanted refugees who faced incredible challenges and suffering as they worked to rebuild what they had lost. Oftentimes, these displaced ancestors lost again and again as empires collapsed and occupying forces emerged. We stand here as proof of their tenacious endurance and love of life. They resisted occupation in the most heroic ways under incredibly difficult circumstances. First, the occupation of the land, and eventually the occupation of the mind and soul. This is the inherited battle we currently fight in their honor. On this day, I would like to highlight the fact that every single one of our voices matter. Every single person within the homeland and beyond has a story to share and perspective to offer. We are actual Caucasians. We exist beyond any stereotype. We all have something we can offer to our respective communities, as well as the global one. Our experiences matter. We know the lasting impacts of genocide and what needs to be done in order to fight the systems who work hard to erase us. We stand with all genocided people, regardless of color or religion, as a witness to their pain and in honor of our own. Generation after generation, we have called on the world for justice and recognition, only to be met with a loud silence. But we will not stop. On this day, I invite you to the decolonization process, not just for Circassia, or Palestine, or Congo, or Haiti, or Sudan, or Armenia, but as people who have benefited from colonization on this continent in North America, otherwise known as Turtle Island. Decolonize what you have been told about race and indigeneity, and then share it. Your voice matters. The global effort to dismantle the dark forces of white supremacy and colonialization starts in your mind and heart, and there's too much at stake to allow it to continue on the path of destruction that's been laid out for hundreds of years. Before I go, I offer you 2 books worth your time on the matters of the Caucasus Mountains region. The Circassian Genocide by Walter Richmond and Oliver Bullow's Let Our Fame Be Great. I cannot stress enough the importance of learning our history, finding joy and value in our cultural elements, holding on to our language even in small ways, and passing it all down to the youth who we are already passing the torch to today. I stand in solidarity with Indigenous people all over the world. I stand in love for our homeland, in honor of our ancestors, in hope for the future that lives within our children, and in the sacred and beautiful concept of community. Thank you so much. Justice for Circassia, justice for the entire North Caucasus, free Palestine, free the Congo, and protect children everywhere. Whoopso.
Assalamu alaikum. I would like to start by reading an excerpt from the Council of United Circassia in their letter to Germany as they described the Circassian genocide. The Russian Empire, during its occupation of Circassia, initiated in 1763, systematically carrying out brutal practices that led to the death of millions, the separation of hundreds of thousands of families, the destruction of villages and towns by burning, and the devastation of forests and natural habitats. In 1864, when the Circassian nation was exhausted, a systematic expulsion of who stayed alive of the entire population began, resulting in the loss of hundreds of thousands of lives due to disease and famine during the forced exile. Only a small number of Circassians were allowed to remain in their homeland, resulting in more than 90% of the Circassians' population killed or sent into exile. That wasn't enough for them. The Russians destroyed more than 6,000 historical and cultural locations to make it easy for them to distort our history, trying to delete our existence on this land. Today, the Circassian nation is scattered across more than 40 countries around the world. Additionally, the areas vacated by the Circassians were systematically resettled with nations loyal to the Russian Empire from different countries. What helped contribute to Russia's superpower is the geostrategic location of the Black Sea and the occupation of Circassia and the rich underground and surface resources of Circassia. Although 160 years have passed, the pain remains fresh because until this moment, we still suffer from genocide that killed our fathers before, and now it is killing our language, culture, identity, and our existence in this world. If we learned the necessary lessons from the Circassian genocide, we should be able to prevent another genocide from happening in modern day. Unfortunately, that is not the case. The current genocide of Gaza and the ethnic cleansing of the greater Palestine is proof that history is repeating itself in all the worst ways. I myself am Circassian, married to a Palestinian. My children now carry a painful history on both their maternal and paternal sides. As I learn about my own Circassian history, I cannot help but to draw parallels with Palestine. Both lands being stolen and given to people with no historic ties to it, including the illegal settlements throughout the West Bank, both having historical landmarks crumbled, both losing forests, olive trees, farms, and vegetation, both oppressors attempting to erase their culture entirely, both the Circassian and Palestinian people clinging on to their cuisine, clothing, language, etc. We are all watching a genocide take place in real time. As a Circassian with a history of genocide, I have to stand in solidarity with any persons going through a genocide, especially my Palestinian brothers and sisters, my family. I pray that Allah gives justice to the oppressed and lift the suffering from our brothers and sisters in Gaza and around the world. Ameen.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأن محمدا عبده ورسوله. إلى روح أموات آبائنا وأجدادنا في بلاد القفقاس وفي كل بلد مسلم انتقل إلى رحمته تعالى شهيدا يا رب. نقرأ سورة الفاتحة. آمين. كيف سنكون نربط بين النكبة الشركسية والفلسطينية؟ تتفاوت ردود فعل متابعي أحداث غزة وجنوب لبنان كما تتباين مشاعر مشاهدي القتلى والضحايا والمصابين والترحم على الأطفال والنساء وغيرهم والبكاء على أطلال الدمار والخراب الذي ضرب وما زال يضرب البشر الذين يعانون أقصى أشكال الحياة وأبشعها. بشر فقدوا مساكنهم وأجبرتهم القوة الغاشمة على مغادرتها إلى أماكن ما تكاد أقدامهم تطأها حتى يكرهون إلى مغادرتها باتجاه الحدود مع مصر التي ترفض علنا وبصوت عال حاليا على الأقل دخولهم إليها هربا من الزحف الإسرائيلي وآلته التدميرية، بحيث لا يبقى في القطاع إلا من تحتاجه إسرائيل لخدمتها ومن يسير في ركابها في سيناريو أكاد أجزم أنه قد خطط له أصلا منذ انعقاد المؤتمر الصهيوني الأول في مدينة بازل السويسرية سنة 1897 لإقامة دولة صهيونية على أرض فلسطين، بل وعلى أرض إسرائيل الكبرى من الفرات إلى النيل. مخططات يتم تنفيذها دون توقف، ولكن على مراحل، وتحضير طويل الأمد لها، وعلى مبدأ سياسة تفريغ ماء البحر بملعقة شاي. قد قالها تشرشل. كانت نكبة 1948 أولها، ثم نكبة 1967 ونزوح الشركس وأهل الجولان مسقط رأس الحبيبة منها، ونكبة غزة اليوم إحدى أحداث مراحلها، والتي لم يتحرك لمواجهتها أي عربي من أصل 424 مليون عربي أو مسلم من أصل 1.5 مليار مسلم ساكنا لنصرتها إلا بالصراخ والزعيق والتنديد والاحتجاج والاجتماعات والمؤتمرات والخطب الرنانة، أي بمجرد كلام وصراخ غير مجدي. ليس هذا بحسب، بل صعقنا بتأييد منافقين من العرب والمسلمين لإسرائيل لدرجة أن بعضهم دعمها بالمال والرجال مقابل التأييد شبه العالمي لإسرائيل والتضامن معها لما قامت به حماس، ومن وراءها بمهاجمة إسرائيل في 7 تشرين الأول وقتل واختطاف وأسر عدد من الإسرائيليين في عملية نصر مؤقت خاطف جر على الغزاويين الويل والثبور. فمنذ 7 تشرين وحتى كتابة هذه الأسطر نعيش ساعات نتلقف فيها الأخبار متفاعلين بمشاعر متباينة مع ما تقدمه الحرب الإعلامية، لكنني ومع كل خبر أو مشاهدة لصورة غارات أو تخريب لمنزل أو قصف بناء أو حرق لبنية تحتية وسطحية أو تخريب مزرعة، ومع مقتل أو جرح كل طفل وامرأة أو كهل، ومع رؤية قوافل المهجرين والمطرودين من ديارهم والمشردين ساكني العراء من الجوع والمرضى، ومع كل هذا والكثير من مثله مما ينفي تحلي الإنسان بما يدعى بالإنسانية، أتخيل وأتصور وتتراءى حتى في أحلامي وفي كل ثانية لوحات ومشاهد لما عاناه أجدادنا الشركس وقاسوه من ظلم وعدوان وقتل وذبح وقطع رؤوس وتدميرا وإحراق للقرى والمزارع وبقر بطون النسوة الحاملات، مرورا بحرب الأرض المحروقة وتخريب وإزالة التجمعات السكانية، وخلافه مما مارسه الروس بحق أهلنا الشركس على مدار 100 سنة و100 منذ عام 1763 إلى عام 1864. قتلوا فيها وأبادوا 2,000,000 شهيد رحمة الله عليهم، وهجروا بعدها قرابة 1,750,000 شركسي من بلادهم لتحقيق شعار وصية القيصر بطرس الأكبر ومن جاء بعده، وهو الشعار القائم على مبدأ احتلال أرض الشركس ولكن دون أهلها الشركس الذين تم تهجير من نجا منهم من الموت بالقوة وترحيلهم إلى أراضي الإمبراطورية العثمانية. فالنكبات الشركسية في خطوطها العامة لم تلق من أي مسلم أي دعم يذكر، إذ عاش الشركس شعارات ونفاق الأخوة العربية والإسلامية تماما كما نعيش مثلها في مساندة الفلسطينيين اليوم. فأمثالي وجميع شركس العالم عاشوا ويعيشون مآسي متشابهة في خطوطها العامة، وإن اختلفت في تفاصيلها وجوانب تنفيذها ووسائل تحقيقها. ومما يحز في النفس أن أغلب الشركس ويقولون واضح بين القضيتين، على أساس أن القضية الفلسطينية تتلقى الدعم العالمي والمادي والأخلاقي من العرب والمسلمين وغيرهم، مقابل افتقار المسألة الشركسية إلى أي دعم أو مساعدة، إلى أن كشفت أحداث غزة عن كل الصفقات المسكوت عنها تجاه فلسطين بعد الاجتماع المخزي لأكثر من 57 دولة من العرب والمسلمين ثقب فيها ممثلوها طبلات آذاننا بخطب رنانة وبيانات طنانة يمكن تصنيفها في قوائم بضاعة المثل الشعبي الشامي القائل الكلام ما عليه جمارك، خاصة وأننا فرسان الظاهرة الكلامية. كانت بلاد الشركس الواقعة بين قمم جبال القفقاز في الجنوب ومجرى جداول مستنقعات جوديل في الشمال وساحل بحر أزوف وحدود داغستان والشيشان في الشرق وإلى حوض نهر تيتا ترتش الغربي والبحر الأسود في الغرب، أي أن مساحة أدغة التاريخية بحدودها قبل القرن الخامس عشر المقدرة بأكثر من 355 ألف كيلومتر مربع كانت موطن الشركس منذ آلاف السنين، تقلصت إلى الاحتلال القيصري الروسي إلى مساحة لا تتجاوز 34 ألف كيلومتر مربع، أي ما يعادل 1% فقط من المساحة الأصلية، مجزأة وموزعة على 4 وحدات منفصلة: الشابسيغ أديغا، قرشاي شركس، قبرتي بلقر. بقي فيها على الأقل 5% فقط من الشركس، فهل للروس حق لها؟ بعد مقتطعات الدكتور عادل عبد السلام لاش أطال الله عمره. جزاكم الله خيرا.
Thank you, everybody who has watched our tribute to our, the memorial commemoration for our people. I'm blessed enough to have such a supportive, forward-thinking group of people standing here. None of this could have been possible without that word community. Before I let you go, I do want to just give something in terms of a emotional closure maybe, or emotional connection to our people. For anybody who has ever done a mindfulness guided, I want to call it a meditation maybe, please close your eyes and just try to imagine what I say as vividly, as clearly as you can. Okay, so imagine standing at a port on the other side of the Black Sea, dressed in beautiful ethnic Caucasian clothing, with money in your pocket and reliable transportation, waiting for a ship to dock that has your ancestors on board, who you'll be meeting for the first time. They wave to you from the ship and greet you with hugs as you find them and gather their belongings. They look radiant with love and admiration for you, the result of their lineage after generations. You load them up in your vehicle and make your way home safely, together. They tell you how proud of you they are, how much they love you, how grateful they are that you came to get them from the dock. You thank them for all they've endured that has allowed you to live your life. You tell them that you carry their bravery, joy, sorrow, and passion within you, and you feel their love carry you. Imagine you feel the warmth of their love encompassing you completely. You are so honored to meet them and finally meet a part of yourself as well. They can rest now, and you can rest too, knowing that you are their wildest dream come true, as you are. We Circassians know that our ancestors were taken on boats, many of them capsized into the Black Sea, and people were lost forever. So this guided kind of practice is just to bring those souls who fell into the Black Sea, bring them to shore, and carry them home safely within your heart. And for me, it really helps to just encompass the feeling of that lost feeling, that pain of loss, and just kind of put a bomb on it for some time until I need to do it again. But thank you so much for showing up. I hope that wherever you stand, that you are able to connect with the community around you. Your presence is valuable in our community. Like I said, every person matters. And is there anything else? Do you want to say anything before we wrap this puppy up?
Yeah. Free Circassia, free Palestine, free Congo, free Sudan, and free every single oppressed people in the world. We stand in solidarity with them all.
Thank you so much.
Good job.